Hello and welcome to the United Stand. Arsenal versus Manchester United. This is it. This is it. It is absolutely massive. And I don't want to give any credit to Arsenal. It's just the way that it's fallen. But this game for Manchester United is huge. Matic and Fellaini are reportedly out. How do we deal with that for Manchester United? I don't know. We'll be discussing that. We'll be looking at the lineups. We're talking about Pep and a ban. In fact, let's talk about Pep and a ban. I don't care if he gets a ban. I'm not bothered about City. I'm fed up of talking about Manchester City. They are 8 points ahead of us. They deserve to be there. Yes, they've been lucky. I don't care if he gets a ban or not. Because tell you what, as a Manchester United fan, I haven't got a small club mentality. I don't care if they ban him. If they ban him, does it give us any points? Does it put us top of the league? I don't care that he ran on the pitch and acted like an absolute moron. And I obviously know that if Mourinho had done that, he'd probably get a 20-game ban. Because people hate United. But I don't care if Pep gets a ban. I don't care about Manchester City. All I care about is Manchester United. And I'm not a small club mentality. So if they ban him, they ban him. They won't ban him anyway. We all know that. Matic and Fellaini injury, I do care about that. Manchester United against Arsenal, I do care about that. And I totally 100% believe that Manchester United, if they draw or lose, can sit down and forget the Premier League anyway. Enjoy your Christmas. Have a couple of turkey sandwiches on Christmas Day because the Burnley game doesn't matter because we won't be winning the league. But it does. But it does matter because this game is not just about looking up. I think we've got to win because we want to look up, and then we want to play City, and then we want to get them down to 5 points because they've got 3 definitely against Moyes' West Ham on Sunday. West City, that is. So we've got to beat Arsenal. We've got to beat them. For the sake of our season, for the sake of the Premier League, we've got to beat them. It's going to be difficult. We'll look at that first of all. But we've got to beat them anyway because actually when you look behind us, there's not a massive amount of points to teams like Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool. And if we get pulled back into that, Spurs will go again. You know, instead of looking at, if it went really wrong over the next week, instead of thinking, oh, we could be going for the title, we could be thinking about 6th again. It is that competitive, and we've got a little buffer there, and we need to keep it. So, you know what? I personally think, a lot of people think Arsenal United will end up in a draw. If it did, at least it's a decent result in relation to retaining maybe 2nd or 3rd. But we've got to go and win it, and I firmly believe that, and I back Anthony Evelyn, who says we've got to beat them. Like the video, share the video. It's a big preview tonight, and I want to get your thoughts as well. But here we go. With the team, this is my predicted lineup for Manchester United versus Arsenal. Obviously, it's based on potentially not... I think Fellaini's out. I think Fellaini is out. He's got a knee injury, and a game like this, of this magnitude, it's not Old Trafford, it's not Brighton, it's Arsenal. They've just won 5-0. They've got a very good record at the Emirates. They don't concede many goals. They score a few themselves. I can't remember the last time they got beaten there. I can't remember the last time we beat them there, and we've got to beat them at the weekend. So it's not the game for Fellaini anyway, I don't think. Matic, we need Matic. If we lose Matic, it makes it very difficult, because if you look at the lineup that I've put up on the screen there, I mean, we could go with the 3-5-2 or the 5-3-2. Effectively, it would be quite a defensive side against Arsenal. And let's first of all look at what Arsenal do. Arsenal sort of play a 3-5-2. So they've got Koscielny, Mustafi and Monreal. Then they've got that Kolasinac and Bellerin as like the wing-backs. Xhaka and Ramsey holding. And then Sanchez, Ozil behind what I believe will be Welbeck. Lacazette's out. They could play Giroud. I think it'll be Welbeck because he seems to play well against us. And Arsenal, the way they play, little triangles, it's like a game of bloody triangles, isn't it? They'll be playing triangles all day, and they'll be on the front foot. And United will not play too attacking, I don't think, because when has Mourinho done that in the big games? And I'm not knocking him here, but I think the 4-2-3-1 is the way he'll go, but I think it'll be more of a 4-3-3. So Young and Valencia pick themselves. Don't think we'd have any problems with that. Rojo and Smalling, because I don't think I would risk Lindelof outside of a back 3 at the moment. Rojo for the left side. Smalling's been very steady, and I don't think Bailly and Jones are fit. And plus, they've done very well. Hopefully Matic plays. I think he'd play Herrera. He'd play Pogba in there to give 3 midfielders, but also to be a little bit expressive when we do attack on the break. And break is what it's all about against Arsenal, because I think we will sort of we will sit back and soak them up and try and hit them on the break, which is why Martial's very important, Lingard's very important, and obviously Lukaku will start, and I believe he should start. You could play Rashford here, but Rashford's so out of form at the moment, and Lingard actually did play well against Watford, so surely you'd want him to play. I was thinking that maybe Mata would play on the right, because he's well disciplined with Valencia, but actually when you think about it, we've got to win this game. I don't want disciplined. What I want is Let's do what we do defensively well, and let's hit them on the break. And for me, the most important player in the team is Anthony Martial. I think Anthony Martial against Bellerin is massive. If Martial plays on the left, that is, we could play 3-5-2 or 5-3-2 with Martial up front, but I don't think we will. I think we'll go more combative in the midfield, and I think we'll put Lukaku up front on his own, and I think those two players like Martial and Lingard could well end up seeing themselves play as sort of left and right wing backs, because my concern is the way Arsenal set themselves up, they'll have one up front which will occupy the two centre backs, and then you've got Sanchez and Ozil which will occupy our two full backs, which means our back four is dealing with three of their players, which means Bellerin and Kolasinac will push on, which means Martial and Lingard will end up being left and right wing backs because they'll have to go with them. The midfield battle, we should win that. Xhaka and Ramsey against Matic, Pogba and Herrera, we should win that. And Lukaku's going to have his work cut out with three of their centre-backs. But I think the way for United to deal with this game is definitely to sort of hit on the break. Soak up what Arsenal have got to offer, defend well like we can, hit them on the break. That for me is why Mata cannot play, Mkhitaryan cannot play, Fellaini cannot play. Rashford could be a very important off the bench. I don't really see what Zlatan would offer in a game like this. It's going to be a quick game. Arsenal move the ball quickly in spaces, in triangles. United are going to have to move the ball quickly to cause them problems. We are not going to be able to utilise players like Fellaini and Zlatan in a game like this because they are going to play. They're going to play quickly. I don't see us getting many balls into their box down the width. What we're going to be doing is looking to hit them on the break. And if I think of a Manchester United performance that comes to mind in relation to hitting teams on the break, then it would be that one in the Champions League a few years ago with Ronaldo and Rooney. Of course, we don't have players like that, but it would be great to see that. Ming Hui says it's got to be a 3-5-2. I think 3-5-2 could work, but I think a back four works better because if you play a 3-5-2, it will effectively become a 5-3-2. So if you used what we did the other night, you'd have Lindelof, Smalling, and Rojo, Young, and Valencia dealing with Sanchez, Welbeck, and Ozil. Three of their players being dealt with five of ours. 5-3-2 would actually make us more defensive. I would use four. I would let Young and Valencia deal with Sanchez and Ozil, and I would let in my team, Rojo and Smalling deal with their one striker. I know people think 5-3-2 is more expansive, but actually the way Arsenal set themselves up, I'd rather play with a back four than a back five because we'll lose a player and we'll gain that player in the midfield with the back four. So that's how I would go. What's my score prediction for the game? I think we've got to win, and I'm much the same as the Watford game. I can't contemplate any other result. I mean, my head says this is probably going to be a very difficult game for Manchester United, and a draw probably would be a good result. Form suggests, it's going to be very difficult, but I've got to go with the reality is that Manchester United need to win this game. So I'm going to say Manchester United 2-1, but I think it's going to be a heart in the mouth, very tense, nervous game. We've not won there for a long time, but I have no reservations about this. Get excited. I think last night I felt quite relaxed because we were just enjoying the winner. Then everybody else bloody won, didn't they? There's a lot riding on this game. We've got to win it. If we want, there's nobody else who's going to challenge City for the title, and we can't challenge them if we don't beat Arsenal. That is the simple truth. I know a lot of people will say, oh, it doesn't matter, we're still in a title race. The reality is, if we draw against Arsenal, City will win on Sunday, that's 10 points behind. If we lose, it's 11 points behind. We ain't going to pull that back. You're not going to pull double figures back. I know it happened before with Newcastle and Kevin the Clown Keegan, but it's not going to happen with the resources that City have got, the players they've got, and the fixtures they've got. It's not going to happen. Our best chance is beat Arsenal and beat City next week. But the hurdles. We hurdled Watford. We can beat Arsenal. So much relies on Mourinho. I still think the goodwill of the Watford result will evaporate if we don't get something at Arsenal. I don't think Mourinho has turned the corner with all those people who doubt him, even though he's done fantastically well and the progress is totally evident. But I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't say... I said it's about Watford. I'm saying it's against Arsenal. We have to win this game. Otherwise, the title is gone. And also, as I said at the start of the video, you've got to be very, very careful about losing this game. Obviously, we don't want to do that, but then we'll get dragged. I think Arsenal will be 1 point behind us. Chelsea are home to Newcastle. They make 3 points on us. Liverpool will make 3 points on us. And suddenly, a loss against Arsenal, not only is it goodbye title, but it's hello battle for the top four. The margins are that thin. So I think Mourinho, how Mourinho approaches that game, because he's not stupid, he will look at that as well. I need to win it to have any chance of winning the title, but if I lose it by trying to win it, then I've got myself in a massive battle for the top four. And you might think a point, but that's the end of the title. So what he might think is, I'll keep it tight, I'll try to hit them on the break and win it, but I'm not going to lose it. And I think that is probably how we will go. And in all fairness, if it works, it'll be tactical genius. If it doesn't work, we'll be like, what could have been? Camyor 1911 made a contribution. He says, we need to stand behind Lukaku. Thanks for that contribution, and thanks for that note, because it's essential that Lukaku plays in a game like this. Zlatan's not fit anyway, so anybody who thinks that, forget it, he's not fit. But even if he was, I would still go Lukaku, because Lukaku's power and pace against Arsenal, who are renowned bottlers, physicality in this game will be very, very important. I remember us going to the Emirates last season, at the end of the season, and obviously they beat us. I remember us 2 years ago under Van Gaal going there and thinking we had a really good chance. He played Carrick and Schweinsteiger. They got absolutely dominated in the first half, and we got well beaten. Arsenal are on a high. I'm glad they beat Huddersfield 5-0, because I'd rather they'd won well than lost, because they would react to a loss. I think they'll go into it confident, but if we are mentally tough, then I think we can do it. I'm massively excited. I'm sure you all are as well. I think we've got to win it, and I think if we do win it on Saturday night and Sunday and all next week, we should be excited about the City result, but very, very proud of the team if they can do it. It's a big, big, big ask, and they've got to do it. Our season rests on this. The Premier League rests on this. I don't really care about responsibility for the Premier League. I find it absolutely funny that the press and the FA are so far up Pep's arse. They're blind to the fact that if this title is over, and it will be over for me on Saturday if we don't win, it's December the 2nd, and the Premier League title is done and dusted for the best league in the world. Brand Premier League. They won't realise it's till it's too late, but the Premier League will become very, very boring. We need to win at the weekend. Our season won't be over if we don't, because I think we'll still progress. We should still get second place. You know, we could be competitive in the Champions League, but I want us to be there. I want us to be in the Premier League, and I want us to be dishing it out. Lots still to talk about. I want to talk about the injuries, and I also want to talk about Anthony Martial. But I also remember to do this. It's Super Brew. It's Super Brew time. Who's got the yellow cap on Super Brew? Link in the video description for our Manchester United Stand, Predictor League. Link in the video description. Sign yourself up. It is free. And when you sign up through the link in the video description, you'll automatically go into the United Stand Predictor League. All you need to do every week is just fill in your scores for the Premier League games. So I think Chelsea are going to beat Newcastle 2-0. You go through that, you pick all your scores. Where's United Arsenal? I'll do that one for you as well. I'm going to go 2-1 to United. When you've done all that, you submit your picks, continue, and your picks are in for the week. You'll automatically go into the United Stand League. We've got 2,692 people in it at the moment. But it's free to enter, and the great thing is that if you do get 6 correct scores, you win a team jersey of your choice. If you get 7, you get £1,000, 8, 2,500, 9 scores, 5,000, 10 scores, 20,000. And it's not exact scores, remember. If it's Chelsea 1 or Chelsea 3-0, if you're within 1 goal of the result and it's the right result, like a Chelsea win, you do get that classed as a point as well. But 2,700, let's say, entries in it so far, and it does average your score out as well, so you can sign up at any time and get involved. But at the moment, where is he? Out of 2,700, Goldbridge is in 12th place. So come on, take me on if you think you're hard enough. But the great thing is, like the yellow jersey in the Tour de France, there is a yellow cap in the Super Brew to the biggest score of the week. And I can tell you, I won it on round 12, but we're not on round 12 now. United We Stand won it last weekend with 13.75, and echoing that, Imred Ali is the current holder of the yellow cap. Hashtag yellow cap, Imred Ali. I hope you're watching, mate. Well done. Some past winners there. None more notable than round 12, but link in the video description for that. Get yourself signed up. Another little bit of fun on the United Stand, and we're having a lot of fun with the Super Brew, so do get involved in that. What else was I going to talk about? I wanted to talk about, I've got a higher win percentage than Klopp. Love Ahuna says, everyone's got a, even Roy Hodgson's got a better win percentage than Jurgen Klopp. I mean, you know what? I don't want to disrespect the teams below us. They're all doing very well at the moment, but the reality is that's sort of power to our elbow, because I've got a task for you. You've just come into my head actually. That's power to our elbow, because you know, people who doubt Mourinho, we are a team that's doing really well at the moment, and you know, we are clear of those teams. So it's interesting that, you know, teams below us are apparently doing really, really well, but you know, we're doing better than that. We're doing better than that. I mean, obviously we've got to be judged by Manchester City. I totally agree. We've got to be judged by that. But this game, I don't know which way it's going to go. Manchester United have got to win it. For me, Pogba's very, very important. He's got to turn up in a big game away from home. Mourinho's got to turn up in a big game away from home. And Manchester United have got to turn up. And for me, Anthony Martial's so important. He's been so consistent this season. He's our most important attacker. And up against someone like Bellerin is super fast. If Martial turns up at the weekend, we can win this game. I'm intrigued. You know, people sometimes say things and they'll go, "Oh, you're being over dramatic." But actually, you know, I'm going to start taking some of your live comments now. Is this game our season in the Premier League? Is this game a must win? And if we don't win it, the Premier League title's gone. I really want to take your comments on that. I also want to say I'm gonna throw out a bit of December the 1st tomorrow. Jack and Ori. It's I should have said something festive. Christmas tomorrow. Home Alone. I'm not Home Alone. It's a film. Festive. I'm gonna hum a tune for you today. I cannot find this bloody song. If it had lyrics in it, I'd be able to type the lyrics in and find the song. So I'm setting you a task here because I know you're all culture vultures. Somebody will know the name of this song if they recognise it. So it's Christmas music and it goes. If anybody in the live comments knows the name of that music, you will make my night. You really, really will. Theon Curtin says, Mark, according to you, every game is a title decider. Look, I know I've said it before, but you know, seriously, seriously, I mean, whatever about Arsenal Fan TV, DT, troops and all that jazz, you know, I'm sure they'll give us a lot of stick if we lose. But to be honest with you, it's not really about Arsenal. It isn't about Arsenal. If we lose to Arsenal, it's embarrassing. You know, I think they're a funny club. They're a yo-yo club. You know, in fact, they're a yo-yo in a hurricane. They're up, the down, the left, the right. They never know where they are. They're never going to win a title. But it's... I don't think it is in Home Alone, Scott H. I can't think of it being in Home Alone. I don't remember it being in Home Alone. Maybe you're right. But yeah, losing to Arsenal will be embarrassing. But it's not really about that. It's about us playing a team in the top 6 away from home where we've traditionally not done very well under Mourinho. He's got a horrific record away from home. I think he's got like 3 points from something ridiculous with hardly any goals scored. So it's not really about the Arsenal. I don't want to lose to them. But... it's about the fact that we're going to be, if we don't beat them, we're going to be 10 or 11 points behind City before we play them next week, and that's too much. If we do beat them, we'll be 8 points behind City, and then if we'd have to beat City, if we beat them, that's 5 points. It gives us something to go for. Whoever it was at the weekend, you know, the reality is, I wish it was a home game against West Ham, because we'd win that, we'd maintain it being 8 points, and then we could take it down to 5. The fact that it's Arsenal and it's a tough game, we've got to win it. If we don't win it, I think the title's gone. I really, really do. It's not driving home for Christmas, Joe. That's driving home for Christmas. How I hate to see their faces. I've been so long. Scorpion says it was definitely in Home Alone. Well, I'll have a look at the soundtrack of that. Fabian says it's Durandi Sandstorm. I can't think of it as. Home Alone 2 it was, says Andrew Ellis. Greg Lake, I believe in Father Christmas. I bet you're just chucking stuff at me now, but... Troikey Sleigh Ride, Mark, says Darian Jones. I'm writing them down. I bet you're just chucking stuff at me now, but... we'll see, we'll see. Mark, that's the Star Wars theme tune, says Gamer Chat. Go Coco will be hope for go. Michael Davies says, Greg Lake. The ones that lead at Christmas usually win the title, except for Liverpool, says John. Liverpool could be leading the title on the last 10 minutes and they'd still slip up. Man's not hot. Well, that's been mentioned a lot. Man's not hot. That's been mentioned a lot. Matic being out is massive. I do agree with that from SC Biscuit 13. If he is out, then it makes our job very, very difficult. I'm a big fan of Herrera, but what is the issue with Herrera at the moment? What is it? I thought he was poor against Watford. I thought United went backwards with Martial and Matic and not on the pitch. But yeah, it's big up to the Gold Bridge from Jamaica, says Don Dayar. Remember, drop a like on the video. It's the preview. Give us some of your score predictions for this game, because it is a big game. Arsenal away is a big game anyway, but it's massive for me. Not for me personally. It is. It's not called Hotline Bling by Drake. I may be old, but I ain't that old. We got him in. I'm not listening to Man's Not Hot. You didn't get me, you plonker, Kieran. You should have left it. I would have done it. Lukaku to score a hat-trick on Saturday, says MBG. I hope so. Gary Neville saying Lukaku needs to be criticised. I ain't got anything to say about the class of 92 at the moment, or any ex-pro for United, because I think most of them are being quite derogatory towards United. You know, it's not like us fans talking about the club that we love. I know they love the club, but they've got real influence. I mean, Scholes was very negative before the game on Tuesday night, and he had to sit down, didn't he? I agree with Ross. I liked a lot of what Scholes said about Van Gaal because I agreed with it, but I don't agree with what they're sort of doing at the moment. Fion says 2-1 win. Caleb says 3-2. P. Bassey says 1-0. Hut says 3-1. The thing is, I remember a lot of games against Arsenal in the past where we've been in front. I remember it's like being 2-1 in front before, and I think Henry scored late on. We've been in front against them before, and they tend to get late goals. So, you know, it's going to be very hard. Just can't predict this game. It's a sports story, and thanks for the contribution. Ray Carl Brown Amore says 1-1. To me, if I was talking with my head, 1-1 is the result I really think. But Sophie Richards is on. Hi Sophie, how you doing? Will we park the bus on Saturday? Very good question. I think we'll park the bus. Well, let me show you. I think we'll park the bus to a certain extent. I think, you know, you've got your back four there. I think these three will drop a lot, and these three will be used to break on the break. And it's how quickly we get the ball from here and here to them to expose those three at the back. I think we will play deep. I think we will invite Arsenal on. But we have got the players to change it if we need to. I mean, if this was on a neutral ground and you look at those players behind you, effectively, I think Manchester United are a better team than Arsenal. They've certainly got a better manager. But home advantage, pressure for United that they've got to win. I think it's just one step beyond. It's a massive, uncertain game. But I've got to go with the win, because I think if we don't win, well, I don't think it, I know, if we don't win, I'm going to be very disappointed. We've got to win this game of football. I totally and utterly disagree with anybody who says the title's not over if we don't win, because it is. It is. It's gone. It's too big a gap. It's too big a gap. Tarbo, I would expect that to happen. Manchester United versus Arsenal used to be battles, says Paul Jones. Yeah, I loved Roy Keane in the tunnel. We won the game in the tunnel. Who plays if Matic can't? I think it's got to be Herrera, because Fellaini's out. We talked about it when Pogba was out injured. The reality is Manchester United are light in the midfield. You know, Carrick's not ready yet. Fellaini and Matic out. It can only be Herrera, and if one of them needs to come off, it's got to be McTominay, hasn't it? But I know what you mean, actually. So if we go back to this formation here, we are up the creek without a paddle if Matic isn't fit, because Fellaini can't play. So who do you play in the three? McTominay? I'd rather Twansibi. Would you risk putting Lindelof in there? Would you play Phil Jones in there? I think we'd have to. I think we'd have to. And I think Lindelof could do a job in the midfield. I think he would. He's good on the ball. So yeah, I think I would go that. I'm not doing a Premier League fixtures preview on That's Football tonight because I've got a lot over on. Damien Hosty says that he thinks the title race is over already. It might be. It might be, Damien, but it is all about hanging in there. And I would rather be, obviously, I don't want to be in December saying the title's gone because we're double figures behind City. I want to be in December 8 or 5 points behind them saying, yeah, it's still a big ask, but, you know, that every game still matters. And, yeah, it is massive. How can Arsenal stop Martial, says Vince Chapman. We could help Arsenal stop Martial by just not getting the ball up to the front three, which is what we've seen against Chelsea, against Liverpool, and last season. In these big games away from home, we don't get the ball quick enough to our front three. So I think if we provide Martial with the ball, I don't think he's stoppable. Lukaku's got to turn up in this game. If he has a performance like Watford, we're going to be really blunt up front. But he's got to turn a corner at some point. He's a massive player. Literally massive and very, very important for us. We need him to turn up in this game. I certainly wouldn't be playing Zlatan as far as I'm concerned. City don't look unbeatable. Chocolate Cake 2001. I totally agree with you. But unfortunately, they have got that big cushion of 8 points. And it's not really about how well they've been playing, because they have been playing well. But they have looked susceptible over the last couple of games. But we've got to put the pressure on. We've got to put some pressure on them. Double figures, you're not under any pressure. So, yeah, we've got to go for it. I think Martial will score, says Mike Rollins. So do I, mate. Drop a like on the video, please, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. We've got some cracking content coming up for you in the next couple of days in relation to this Arsenal game, working with another channel, wink wink. So keep your eye out on the channel over the next couple of days. Got some good content coming forward. And also, for those people who've watched the video to the end, I call them the hardcore, proper United Stand viewers. I can because the others aren't watching, so they won't know. So big up to you who are watching later on. Link in the video description for Super Brew. Get signed up on that. It's free to play. See if you can be the yellow cap winner and win yourself a bit of money and get some credibility by trying to beat me, which you never will. But have a go at that. But also, if you're on Instagram, because apparently a lot of people are on Instagram, and Facebook, but more Instagram. If you are on Instagram, make sure you go to the link in the video description to our Instagram page and follow us. Because tomorrow morning, we have got something you are going to bloody love. It's brilliant. We can't do it on the YouTube channel because it won't work. But for Instagram, it is perfect. So make sure you go to the link in the video description, open the video description box up, click our link for Instagram, follow us, and look out tomorrow morning for something that you are going to bloody love. If you love United Stand, and you love Manchester United, and you love Christmas, you are going to love what we've got for you on Instagram tomorrow. We've also, while you're down there, that's what she said, follow us on Facebook as well, because we're giving away some prizes, and Facebook's a good place to do it. So we will be starting that. It's not tomorrow, but we will be doing it. So make sure you follow us there as well. But Instagram, I don't want anyone to miss it. Link in the video description. Give us a follow. Watch out for tomorrow morning. I think it's going to go up at probably, I would say it's probably going to go up at about 7 o'clock. But very, very good. You're going to love it. Speak to you all soon. Thanks everyone for watching. Matthew, more than happy for that to happen, pal. Definitely. Drop me a DM on Twitter. And John Copeland, I'm off to see if it's Greg Lake, because that song and music will be making an appearance on Instagram with something else tomorrow. Make sure you give us a follow on Instagram. Thanks everyone for watching. Please do drop a like. I don't think we're going to hit 500. I should have asked earlier, but score predictions, thoughts on the game and everything I've discussed. Is it a title decider? Get commenting below. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks everyone for watching. Great content coming up on YouTube tomorrow, so don't feel left out. But Instagram's where you need to be tomorrow morning. You're going to bloody love it. Follow us. Thanks for watching. Ba 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 ba.